Welcome, and I hope you're enjoying this first day of Chanukah. What sparked the Chanukah rebellion, the Chanukah miracles? We tend to think that it was Matisyahu. One day he's walking in Modi'in with his family, and he comes across a Jew slaughtering a pig in a pagan ceremony. And he gets all upset, and he says, Mila Hashem Elai. He takes his sword with his son Yehuda Maccabee and the brothers. They start this insurgent rebellion against the mighty Syrian Greeks. But if we look at the Rambam's description of the story, it seems that that's not exactly the way it happened. The Rambam writes, the Bayesheni, during the time of the Second Temple, when the Syrian Greeks were in charge of the Middle East and much more, Gazru Gezeros al Yisrael, they levied decrees, ubatlu dasam, and they tried to nullify their religion. They didn't allow them to engage in Torah. They violated their women. They stole their money. And they entered into the holy sanctuary, and they knocked down and they put breaches in the soreg, the area beyond which Gentiles could not go into the Beis HaMikdash, v'tamu es hataharos, and they contaminated all that which was pure. And they pained them and distressed them and oppressed them in a very major way. So when did it change? Listen. Until God had mercy and saved our people from their hands. And at that time, the sons of the Chashmonai, Yehuda Maccabee, they took power, Hargum, and they killed the enemy. It seems from the Rambam that there was what we call an Isrusa de La'ela, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu came first, and then Matisyahu Banov, and then that holy Kohanic family swung into action. But we need to ask, what motivated the Rabboni Shalom? For example, the model of all Golus and Geula, exile and redemption, is Mitzrayim. So the verse says, "Vayeonchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'avoda." Klal Yisrael groaned from the work, and they cried out to God, and God heard their cries, and then God was motivated. But here it seems that it starts with upstairs. Ad sherichem Hashem, Hashem had mercy, then the Chashmonaim went into action. So the Shloh HaKadosh, one of those greats who teaches us about the Panimius HaTorah, well, you don't necessarily see on the surface, but what's going on in the background, what's motivating things. He tells us that the spark of the redemption, the spark of the rebellion, did not start with Matisyahu. It started with Chana and her 7 sons. Chana, the mother of 7 boys who were arrested by the Greek authorities. And one by one, they were asked to take on their religion, to take off the Jewish religion, to bow down to idols. And one by one, they went in front of the emperor and they quoted verses to strengthen their faith. And each one gave their lives. Says the Shloh HaKadosh, that was the spark of the rebellion. And in the name of Chanukah, you see it. Chanukah is Chana Ches Nun Hey Yud Hey. Chana, the name of God. Chana brought about the Kiddush Hashem a sanctification of the name of God, and brought the wholeness, a fullness to the name of God. Our Chazal tell us that when there's evil in the world, so then God's name is not complete and his throne is not complete. And the beginning of the redemption was when those 7 sons and their mother Hannah, who it inculcated in her children this belief in God, when she gave her life, that gave life to the Jewish people and the Jewish future. And that's what inspired Matisyahu. Or perhaps we can say that's what inspired the setup of Matisyahu walking by that situation and seeing a Jew slaughtering a pig to a foreign deity. It was Hannah and her 7 sons. How appropriate it is to consider this in our day and age. You have sons and daughters giving their lives for the Jewish people. At present, we have, in the last 60 or so days, 93 korbanos, 93 sacrifices. Men who went out to war, who put themselves in harm's way for the Jewish people, for the greater glory of God. And their mothers and their wives and their fathers and their brothers and their sisters who sent them off to war, not knowing what would happen. I heard this week an incredible story from Rav Asher Weiss, great sage in Yerushalayim, who told of a mother from Beit Shemesh who, when her son went out to war, she developed a group learning Chovos Halavavos, that great sefer that talks about faith in God and great Jewish thought. And they made a group that was learning Sha'ar HaBitachon, the gate of trust. The hope and the prayer was that by learning Sha'ar HaBitachon and strengthening their trust in God, Baruch HaGiver sheyiftach b'Hashem v'hoya Hashem miftacho, to the extent that someone puts their trust in God, Hashem will be there for them. And this woman called Rav Asher Weiss with a shaila. Her son had died in battle. And instead of taking that Sha'ar HaBitachon, that Chovos Halavavos, and throwing it out the window, what did it do for me? Nothing. Her shaila was, I'm sitting Shiva for my son. You're not allowed to learn during Shiva. Is it okay to learn Musar? Is it okay to continue to learn Sha'ar HaBitachon? She wasn't throwing it out. She wanted to deepen her trust, to deepen her faith. Hannah and her 7 sons. We have so many mothers and so many wives and so many fathers and so many brothers and sisters among us that are just like Hannah. May we be zoche to take their inspiration. May we be zoche like Matisyahu, like Yehuda Uvanov, to see problems in the Jewish people and respond to them. Because at this moment, we have the Kiddush Shem Shamayim. We have the belief, we have the Mesiras Nefesh of so many Chanas. Thanks so much for listening. Have a good Shabbos. Have a wonderful Chanukah. May we all see Yeshuos and Nechamos, salvations consolation, refuah for all the injured. Have a good Shabbos.